This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Jamie, the way too early top 25 is out for college basketball. And the thing that I find interesting for this is that the Red Raiders are not in the top 25, and that there are 5 Big 12 teams in this initial top 25. Probably not a big surprise, given that you've got questions with what's going to happen with JT Toppin in terms of, is he going to be able to play at all? Are they just going to redshirt him next year? Who's coming in, who's coming back, who's already in the portal. But Arizona is fifth on this list. They're the highest Big 12 team. That's no surprise. Houston is 10th on this list. Iowa State is 12th on this list. And then TCU is 16th. That may be a little bit of a surprise. The TCU is that high.
I would agree.
And then BYU is 22nd, and there's no Texas Tech. Next in line, they have Tennessee, Kansas, Miami, Texas Tech, and Maryland. So a little bit of a surprise with those two teams that aren't in the top 25, KU and Texas Tech, but there's lots of holes in that. I mean, it's like I said, it's way too early. I just thought that was interesting that you had 5 in the Big 12 that were in that, and 2 that were really good last year in the Big 12, especially for Texas Tech, not to be in that projected top 25. But I mean, there's a long ways to go there.
You're surprised that they're not in the top 25?
No. I mean, it's just I'm not surprised. It's just, I guess what I'm saying is you become accustomed to being in the top 25. So you're like, okay, where are we? And then you're like, well, there's a reason why you're not in there, because of Toppin, because question mark, is Christian Anderson going to go to the NBA draft? You've got Lawan Watts in the portal now. You got tons of question marks. So it makes perfect sense for you not to be in there. You just go, oh wow, we're not in the top 25. So it's a big change from what we were accustomed to before to what we became accustomed to kind of just understanding that there's a process here, and where you are today is not where you're going to be maybe in 6 months in terms of this list.
I think it's a huge amount of respect for Grant McCasland that you were right outside the top 25. I mean, tell me one player that we have that's a key contributor on this year's team that you think is going to be back for next year.
Yeah, maybe Mosley.
Jalen Petty's going to come back, and Josiah Mosley.
Yeah, I hope Petty comes back.
I wouldn't say Mosley's a key contributor. Petty, I would. That's fair. But I think there are question marks with Petty, so I hope that's true.
Yeah.
But I just think there's too much question marks surrounding this team to get any more respect than you're getting as one of the few right out there on the outside.
Yeah, that's a good point. 25. Yeah, that's a really good point.
I thought it was a terrible list. I read that article last night. I thought it was an awful list. I thought TCU was terrible. St. Louis was ranked in the top 25. Texas was ranked in the top 25. I didn't understand how Kansas and Texas Tech were not top 25 teams. I know there's a lot going on with the transfer portal and stuff, but it seems like Tech has money, Kansas has money. They're going to get 15 guys that can play college basketball next year.
Yes, they are.
That's fair, but you just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
it's just, and that's why I say one of these, way too early ones. It doesn't surprise me that you're not in.
Okay, yeah, no, I when you look at it on paper and you think about it, it was just kind of an, oh wow, that's kind of it. That was just kind of interesting. Mike Malone gets the North Carolina job. At least that's what the presumption is. All the indicators are that he's he's going to take that job, and they're probably going to announce that today. It was interesting yesterday when the Bulls fired a couple of their executives. It's like, oh, looks like Billy Donovan flexed his muscle there, and he's in solid with the Bulls because they're probably going to get somebody that is more maybe in line with the type of talent that he believes that they need in terms of shaping that roster. Because if my thought is that maybe if they hadn't fired those two guys, that Billy Donovan would have gone to North Carolina, because he would have said, well, you don't want to do it my way, and I feel like my way is the better way, and I've had success, so I'll just go back to college. But that's not going to happen now. So it is interesting, though, that they've hired a coach, presumably, that's never been a college head coach, but had obvious success in the NBA and winning a title with the Denver Nuggets.
Yep, interesting. It's, I guess, a bit of a different route to go, but clearly they think he can coach.
Yeah, and probably acquire talent, and they've got a budget to work with, and he can say to them, well, I can help you get to the next level because I've been to the next level. In fact, I helped the team get to win an NBA championship. So that the skins on his wall are pretty good. And obviously,
and isn't the money part one of the biggest factors here?
Yeah, but I mean, it is. But you still have to shape the team, and you still have to get them to, play together
question.
and come up with a style. But you're right.
No question.
Because you look at that Michigan team last night, and they benefited from a guy that was in junior college that got an extra year in Lindenborg. They benefited from a couple of guys not going into the NBA draft because they could make more money in college than they could being a fringe first round or maybe a second round pick, and they benefited from being able to put together a roster that then excelled because they were talented and they were paid well to do it. And so credit to them for putting the whole thing in the mixing bowl and turning out a sugar cookie that was really good, that won a national championship. So had a little frosting on the cookie as well.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is Tuesday, April the 7th, 2026. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Yeah, starting in 1957, guys. 21st U.S. Masters tournament took place. Doug Ford wins his only Masters, 3 strokes ahead of 3-time champion Sam Snead.
Maybe Sam got bored.
Or it was Doug Ford's day.
It was Doug Ford's day,
1969. Dodgers' Bill Singer is credited with the first official save in Major League Baseball. This against the Reds.
Huh?
1977, former Red Raider baseball player Doug Aloute is in his second season in the major leagues, is the first with the Blue Jays and the first homer for the Toronto Blue Jays on opening day in a 9-5 win over the White Sox.
It's Doug Alt.
I said Aloute.
Yeah.
See, the problem is...
It's okay. I mean,
No. The problem is there's something else that is Aloute. It's spelled the same way.
Well, it's Alou.
Yeah. No. There's a T there. It's spelled the exact same.
It's okay.
No,
okay.
that's not. Paper bad. 1984. Detroit Tiger Jack Morris no-hits the Chicago White Sox 4-0.
That was a Saturday. It was like the opening Saturday of the game of the week. I can remember that, but I can't remember, breakfast yesterday morning. Well, I can, but I mean...
It was the same thing you had today.
Right, that's right. That's right.
Jamie, I'm getting a little worried about Chuck now.
Just now?
Nope, not me. He's good. He's killing it.
2001, Jason Randy goes 5 for 10 during a doubleheader in which Texas Tech hits 5 home runs and beats Iowa State 9-3 and 12-2. And in 2003, the 65th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, Jamie beat Chuck 81-78.
I didn't even know Jamie then. Jamie didn't know me.
Well, this was Syracuse beating Kansas.
But Carmelo Anthony had a really good day. He was really special.
And he was also named the tournament most outstanding player.
Yeah, he was really good.
It is National Coffee Cake Day. I have not had a good coffee cake in forever. My mom made an awesome one.
Yeah,
I need to find that recipe.
I would agree with you. My mom did too.
Jackie Chan, 72. Russell Crowe, 62. Tiki and Rondé Barber both are 51. I don't know which one of them is older.
I know which one is the better person.
Well, sure. I don't know which one is older, but I'm sure they do, and I'm sure they would tell us if we asked. Tony Dorsett, 72. And one of all of our favorites, Adrian Beltre, turns 47 today.
And one of our favorite, most loyal listeners had a birthday yesterday. Risa, our friend Risa, had a birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Risa!
So happy birthday +1.
And on this day in 1949, the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical South Pacific opens at the Majestic Theater on Broadway in New York City. The romantic musical about World War II, which touches on controversial racial themes, goes to run for almost 5 years, becoming one of the most popular musicals in the 50s. The show won 10 Tony Awards, and 6 decades later, the revival would earn another 7, making it the most Tony Award-winning show in New York theater history. And that is This Day in Sports History.
This Day in Sports History. Thank you, Jeff. Jamie, have you seen a musical in New York City on Broadway?
I have not.
Is that something you would do if you and the missus found yourself in New York City?
We've considered it a few times, and other things always won out. So clearly, it's not high on our priority list.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I understand. Okay. 6:49 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, or the mobile app. You can participate there. Look forward to hearing from you today and throughout the day today as we get you ready for Texas Tech baseball. The Masters will begin on Thursday. I saw this last night. Among the 9 players who this article from CBS Sports says could make the most noise with a win, Ludwig Ober is also listed among those 9. So he is 5th on the Masters odds sheet per DraftKings, despite still seeking his first major victory. That would be cool to get his first major at Augusta. Of course, it'd just be cool to get a major, right? It's cool just to win.
Any of them, right?
Yeah. But I mean, he has got the game to be able to do that. It's just, putting it all together and see if you could make it all happen. On this list of 9, Justin Rose is 9th, Tommy Fleetwood is 8th, Brooks Koepka is 7th, Xander Schauffele is 6th, Cameron Young is 5th, Rory McIlroy is 4th, Ludwig Oberg is 3rd on this list. He is the headliner of the Talented Young Stars on the PGA Tour. But this article says he needs that first major title to assert his arrival as one of the game's dominant forces. Scotty Scheffler is 2nd, and Bryson DeChambeau is number 1 on that list. He has yet to capture a green jacket. Jamie, I think I've told you in the past that there was a time where I reckon, I could, pick out all these golfers, tune into the golf and go, oh, that's so and so, and that's so and so, and that's so and so, and that's so and so. But I'm starting to get a little bit more familiarity with all these names and in golf, and I think part of the reason why I've kind of come back to it is Ludwig and what he's done. Just kind of
I got to believe a lot of Red Raider fans are more into golf than they have been in maybe ever because of Ludwig.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of checking out and seeing where he is and seeing where he is on the leaderboard, and he's got such a familiar walk and pace and look that you're like, okay, there's Ludwig, and as a result, you're getting exposed to the other guys too. And I realize for some of you, like, oh, these names are all old hat. But I mean, there was a little bit of a time where I got away from golf, and it's hard to follow every single sport and be able to go, hey, I recognize this guy because of the way he tilts his head. Heck, I saw a flash of a reel last night as I was scrolling through stuff, and it was a old opening to This Week in Baseball, and there was a play in the outfield. I'm like, oh, that's so and so from the Mets, and I'm like, that's 1978, and I can pick that guy out just by how he just kind of tumbled over, and but I guess it just goes to show maybe how much I watched in 1978 versus 2026 in terms of being able to pick out a Meta or Gary Templeton when he played for the Phillies. I mean, it was I mean, whatever. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of that's very random, but it just goes to show you sometimes you have more time than as you get older, you have just a little bit less time to concentrate and be 24/7 about it. Although I think my wife would say, oh, I think we watch a lot of sports at our house. So anyway, it's a little bit of a ramble there. So apologize for that. 6:54 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
That's what we do for 3 hours.
It's ramble. It's ramble.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Gerry Glasco on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Service Compression. Committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com. Now, our conversation with softball coach Gerry Glasco.
Hey, good morning. 7:15 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Before we get to Coach Glasgow, we get this communique, little man helping man here off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Just an FYI, if you're coming into Lubbock, trying to get on I-27 from the Slayton Highway, it's blocked off. Yeah, I-27's been kind of wonky north and south here lately, so expect delays. Every time I think it's okay north, it's bad south. Every time I think it's okay the other way, it seems a little screwed up. We go to the Visual Edge IT hotline. We find the head coach of Texas Tech softball, Gerry Glasco. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Hey, before we talk about your team, I just kind of want to get something from you. If you're a sports fan and you're just kind of casually watching, what's a sport that you have your eye on that kind of helps you escape from life a little bit?
Oh, I love basketball. So I grew up, that was my favorite sport growing up. So I like to watch basketball. Of course, this time of year, March Madness is a lot of fun, and I enjoy those games when I get to watch them.
Did you ever coach basketball, your daughters or anything like that?
I probably did in Little League. Like Tara, my oldest daughter that coaches here with me, I can remember like in second, third, fourth grade, the Elks free throw contest, I'd make her shoot free throws. We'd shoot free throws like crazy. And I'd take her to the gym before school, and I can remember, running her up down the basketball court, really wanting her to I really wanted her to play basketball because that was always my favorite sport. So, yeah, but as far as just Little League, like Little League stuff, I never coached school ball or anything.
You never had a desire to go be a Division I basketball coach, but you probably look at it and go, "Hey, we should be doing this. Hey, we should be doing that." And do you ever coach from your couch?
I love following. I like watching the characters of the game. Like Danny Hurley's an interesting coach to me, and seeing how intense his practices are, and just his whole mystique is interesting. And then I like following. I love how Grant's team plays so hard off the ball. It seems like Grant's just got a gift to get his entire team all bought in and really playing at a high level of defense and really playing hard off the ball. And that's not easy to do. So I've really enjoyed watching Texas Tech basketball the 2 years I've been here.
Can you take some principles when you watch other coaches, whether it's on TV or observing them in practice, and then utilize them for your own coaching and what you try to do, and whether it's practice or games or just general philosophy for your teams?
No, I don't know that. I try to just coach like I coach, and I try to be what I feel like is me, and I try to stay myself. But then sometimes it helps you. You see someone doing something similar to what you're doing, and maybe you justify that this way of coaching or this style of coaching. But I don't want to coach like Danny Hurley, but I think I can take some intensity. Like there are times when you need to step that intensity up. And our sport's different too than basketball. I think that it doesn't parallel exactly 100% of the time, but there's definitely takeaways that you can get from any great coach that you could apply. But I think every coach should be their own person and their own style. And when you try to start coaching like someone else, that gets you in trouble.
Visiting with Texas Tech softball coach Gerry Glasco. Your kids like to be coached, don't they? I mean, that's what it seems like, and maybe winning helps with that. But it appears that your kids take to the quote hard coaching and the good coaching.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Our kids come here to win a national championship, and from the very first day they're on campus, and we're talking, during the recruiting visit, we're talking about winning a national championship, and that's very important because if you realize that you're trying to win a national championship, then you should automatically, your mind and your common sense factors in that everything's going to be intense, everything's going to be important, every detail is going to be mattered. Every detail is going to matter. And, we got to hold ourselves to a high standard of accountability and a high standard of performance. So we can't accept the little things that don't go right, and a high level of effort. So yeah, our kids are great, and we've had tremendous buy-in both years here, and then it comes from the leadership of the team as well.
But Coach, I have a feeling that this is kind of how you've always coached, though. This is to a degree. You may not have had quote national championship expectations with your team, but you had high expectations with your team. I would imagine you coached this way at your previous spot as well, right?
I think that I've always wanted to win. Like I have a high. I'm very competitive, and I have high expectations to win every year. Winning national championships is the highest level, and I haven't had I haven't always had the level of athletes that I really believe I could win a national championship. We had, I think there was 2 or 3 years at Louisiana when I thought it was realistic that we could have won a national championship if everything went right every single day of the playoffs, each game. But not to the degree of this team this year or even last year. Last year we knew that it would take a little bit of luck on a couple of given days and for us to get to the national championship and win it, but we had an opportunity. And this year it'll take a little bit less luck, but you still got to have a little luck no matter what. But this team is loaded with talent, and it's loaded with great athletes that want to work hard and compete hard, and then athletes that can do unusual things. They have unusual skill sets, and so we want to take advantage of it. So I always want to win, and I always am competitive in practice, but I don't think ever at a level with more urgency than today.
Coach, we got about a minute or so. Give me a preview of Utah, your next games that'll take place this weekend in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it's they're a team that can score runs. Their pitching staff gives up a few runs, kind of like Idaho State and Houston. In the pitching will give up runs, but their offense is very good. And seems like a lot of the Big 12. Kansas I noticed, is similar to that. So they're a dangerous team. Anytime a team can hit and score a lot of runs, and then you're on the road at their field, and their field has different dimensions. They're like 230 in center, if I remember right, and 210 down the line. So it's a unique field, and it's oversized compared to most softball fields.
And you've got the altitude to deal with a little bit too there.
Yeah, I think that's why they have the field like it is, because of the altitude. I personally never played at Utah. I remember watching Oregon play at Utah when my daughter played at Oregon, and I can remember watching those games on TV. But I've never actually been on that field, so I'm looking forward to going out there and seeing their campus and seeing their field.
Coach, good luck, and thanks for the visit, and thanks for your insight on your philosophy, and wish the Red Raiders great luck this weekend as they take on Utah in Salt Lake City. That'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Texas Tech will stay out there and play Utah State in Logan on Monday, then head to San Antonio on Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, they'll say be in San Antonio on Tuesday, San Marcos on Wednesday, El Paso on Wednesday as well, and then you've got just craziness, and then you head back out to Tempe, Arizona. So it's a road warrior time for this Red Raider softball team. It's 7:25. Thanks to Gerry Glasco this morning here on the Visual Edge IT Hotline. Jamie's question of the day comes up next here this morning on Lubbock Sports Station Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Hey, gentlemen, we're talking some Red Raider football today. I think this is a bit of a hard question, but I have faith that you guys can come through with flying colors. I want you to give me in order your top 3 toughest games on the Red Raider football schedule this upcoming season. 1 being the toughest.
Okay. Pull up my football schedule here, so I got it all right there in front of me. Okay. The toughest game of the season. This is a hard question. Because you look at this and go, okay, well,
knowing Chuck the way we all do, I think we all agree exactly with what you just said there. When you said, I think that meant we're going to win that one. We're going to win that one. Yeah, we got this one. Yeah, we're not losing to them. Yeah, we're going to beat them. Yeah, we're going to beat. That's why I think it's tough. Because I look at the schedule and go, yeah, you got all these.
Okay, it's crazy when I think about this. I'm going to say Houston is your toughest. At Colorado is your second toughest, and home against TCU is your third toughest. And I just look at the road game there with Colorado and go, well, I think you could do a toss-up there between Colorado and Baylor, but I think there's some rivalries forming between Texas Tech and Colorado that there'll be passion in the stands. I don't know how much passion on the field for Colorado, but I just think it'll be a hostile environment. Jeff?
That's which number?
Colorado's 2. Houston 1, okay. Colorado 2, TCU 3.
Okay. That's interesting because I don't feel the rivalry with Colorado at all. It's interesting that different people feel different rivalries, but okay. I don't feel there's a rivalry right there at all.
Number 1, Arizona State. There is actually a rivalry there between the two. Number 2 would be Baylor in Waco. Number 3, TCU. Now, the initial answer I had was the college football playoff game, the Big 12 championship game, and then Arizona State. But I looked at the actual schedule, and those aren't listed, so I couldn't put them on here.
You should have listed second round college football playoff game somewhere in there, Jeff, because that means that we advanced farther than last year. That would have been a good homer pick. Okay. I guess I'm going Arizona at home, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going Houston at home, number 2. And I'm going at Cincinnati, number 3. I think that place is going to be just electric.
Yeah.
Ready to give it to Brendan Sorsby. And I think that's going to be a team that's fired up. Mm-hmm. And I'm nervous about that game.
Yeah, I think if I had it to do over again, I might switch out Cincinnati for Colorado. But I agree with you. I think Cincinnati is going to be electric. I think you're.
The crazy part about all this is that for the most part, we're all picking games that are home games as the tougher ones. And that's good news.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you'll play better at home than you will on the road. So the tougher games you prefer to have at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the other thing, too, is, you're not as concerned at Oklahoma today, as we sit here today, you're not as concerned by going to Oklahoma State or going to Baylor as maybe you would have been in years past.
Yeah. Which one of you guys said that the Baylor one's scary because they play better every other year, and I think this is their year to be good again?
I think that might have been Jeff. I think that might have been Jeff.
It was a really smart statement, and I absolutely kind of worry about that. We just have no idea what Baylor's going to be. The last two, I don't know what to expect on the road at Baylor, home against TCU.
Yeah, and by you get to those 2 weeks there, and even the week before at Oklahoma State, and you go, okay, where's your team health wise?
Where's their team health wise?
And where's their team health wise? Right.
Yeah.
Are they healthier than you? Who's got more to play for? I mean, are you undefeated going into that TCU game, and do they move it to the Friday after at 11 a.m. or something like that? Who knows? Could be really, really interesting. So, yeah. Cameron says this: I'm only afraid of Baylor and TCU if they know our play calls. Okay.
Cameron off the top rope.
Colorado because of elevation, Baylor, and then Cincinnati. I don't know if the elevation is as big a factor as maybe what we used to think of it as. And the reason I say that is I feel like that, back in the day, and I'm not saying they weren't well-conditioned, but it does seem like altitude affected teams more 10, 20 years ago than it does today, with all the conditioning that takes place and all the preparation that takes place and the nutrition. You just don't hear about that as big a deal like you used to with even NFL or Major League Baseball. You never hear about it with regard to the NBA. But I don't know if you have an opinion on that or not, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember hearing a lot about it as a kid growing up watching sports, so I can't really speak to that too much.
Okay. It just seemed like they made a big deal of that for me growing up, and that, our time periods of growing up are different by about 10 years, but it just seems like that was a bigger deal going into Mile High Stadium, and they made a big deal about it being, at altitude and oxygen on the sideline, or we're not putting any oxygen, we're tougher than that. And then you'd see guys over there, hands on knees, so to speak.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you, Jamie, Jeff, and I, from the First United Bank studio. Take your thoughts and comments. Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline. It too is open, 806-771-0973. We'll have Red Raider baseball on the air for you today at 2:30. Balls and Strikes at 3:05. Then the Rangers and the Mariners following that. Also scheduled for baseball today on our airwaves, Lubbock Cooper at Lubbock High at 7 on 100.7 The Score. Memorial against Big Spring at home at 7 on Sunny 97.7. And then a little bit later on tonight from Denver, the Rockies and the Astros, Game 2 of their series. They'll conclude that with an afternoon affair tomorrow. All right. Joey McGuire met with the media yesterday. Obviously, this topic has been in the news with some jousting, sparring, verbal words exchanged between Cody Campbell and the commissioner of the Big 12, Brett Yormark. They seem to have made peace, but Coach McGuire was still asked for his reaction to a Friday night game versus Houston.
Man, I understand both perspectives. I understand one with a passion. I do believe without a doubt that Friday night, I know everybody's proud of their football in every state. We played teams from Ohio. We played teams from Florida whenever I was at Cedar Hill, but it's different in Texas, and the disappointing part that we're not taking into account, like one, I know it's great for ratings. And so it's awesome that our brand is going to be the brand on Friday night. I understand the TV part. I understand the money behind that. So I get all that. I understand TV and our commissioner and the conference's stance. But we're forgetting too, we're gonna put a lot on our fans to make sure we got that game sold out. But how much money are we losing in the city of Lubbock playing on Friday night? How many people are going to be at the friendship game, at all of, Lubbock ISD games, where Lubbock High, Cooper, Liberty, if they're playing out of a town, and then just any of our alumni outside of this area. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Ratliff Stadium in Odessa still sells out every Friday night. Those lights are bright. And so it's different. It's totally different in this state. It's frustrating. And again, I understand the deal behind it, but I would much rather be playing on a Saturday in that game. I do think when we get to that point, we're missing a great opportunity. I'll be shocked. You should go ahead and put College Game Day in wherever LSU Ole Miss is playing that day. I mean, come on. We know where College Game Day is, right? I mean, Lane Kiffin against Ole Miss, you're going to put it there. But we're going to have a top 25 matchup, and I could be totally wrong. You guys can look at it, but I don't think there's going to be a better game around the nation as a top 25 matchup that should be on Big Noon in Lubbock, Texas, and we're missing that opportunity. Gaining an opportunity, of course, we're going to be maybe one of the only games on Friday, but missing an opportunity. And so for me as a high school coach, 23 years, you play high school football on Friday night, you play college football on Saturday, you go to church on Sunday, and you watch the NFL on Sunday. And I think that's, how it should be. And I think we're all stepping on each other's toes in football, and it's going to catch up to us all as a group, NFL, college, and high school at some point.
That's Joey McGuire. And it's hard to disagree with basically anything he said there. I mean, I'm a Friday, Saturday, Sunday guy. Go ahead.
I was going to say I would disagree with the fact that their high school stadiums are selling out.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. But I'm just talking about the Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing.
I go to some. They're not sold out. I watch a lot on the stream. They're not sold out.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like it. But here's the deal. We all knew this was going to happen when the Big 12 signed a contract to sign away their TV rights for millions and millions of dollars, that you were going to have to play a game on Friday or play a game on Thursday. So, this is what happens when you do those deals, and at some point in time you have to pay your share. And there's
I totally get people wanting it on Saturday. I do. Play high school Friday, play college Saturday, play NFL Sunday. Yeah. That's fine. I totally understand that. It's the outrage of we shouldn't have to do this, but everybody else should. That just doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree with you on that. Look, everybody's got to take a piece of this sandwich and eat it.
It's not ideal. It's not preferred by anybody involved. Texas or Tech or Houston or the administration, whatever. It's not preferred. The majority, large majority of the fan base, it's not preferred, but it's preferred by the networks because it's a great matchup that they can highlight on Friday night. So,
but he's also right about the fact that it does hurt the town because you're not going to have as many people in town, not as many heads in beds, not as many people in the restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, because you won't.
We're not going to sell out that game.
I'm just saying
We're not going to sell out that game?
I don't think you'll have as many. You won't have as many hotel nights. You won't have that's where it's going to hurt. You won't have as many.
Most of the hotels, if you're renting on a football weekend, they make you do 2 nights anyway.
Sometimes yes. On those Friday night games,
home football weekends.
On those Thursday and Friday games, I can't say that everybody's forced to do that, but it will hurt the town economy a little bit.
If the same amount of people are coming to town to watch games, how is it hurting?
Because I don't think it'll be the same number of people.
You don't think we're going to sell that out?
No.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you'll sell out the tickets. I don't know that you'll have the butts and seats. Because
for a top 25 matchup that could be our biggest game of the year.
I know. I just think
football team is not going to come.
I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that people do adjust their schedules, and far enough in advance that this game is likely to be on Friday. So I hope that the high school teams adjust for a Thursday or a Saturday, and I hope that we have a full house. But there's just something that tells me that it will be hard to have a full house. You'll sell all the seats. It'll just be hard to have a full house because you've sold all your season ticket allotment.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.